Hi, welcome back to It's Whatever, right? I'm your host, Jen. If you're new to the show, please subscribe. Also, I do have secret podcasts that nobody else gets to listen to. I record them about once or twice a month on Patreon, so once you're done here, please go check that out. Um, just please not just, but please help and support my podcast on Patreon. As I had said in previous podcasts, I do have a YouTube video called The Jen Show with a Facebook page with the same name, of course. I also write on Vocal. If you want to go check out my written work, all of that would be in the description below. Um, with my Facebook page, it's just pretty much a page of where I post all of my new content there. So if you want to go check that out, and subscribe, that would be pretty cool. And with that said, in today's podcast of It's Whatever, right? The podcast topic of this week is 10 years ago, where did I picture myself today? And that is actually a very interesting question because um, 10 years ago, I would have just been finishing, let's see, it's April, so I would have had like 2 months left of the 11th grade. So when in grade 11, I pretty much was finishing grade 11 and entering my senior year of high school. I had a completely different picture of where I would be 10 years later. Um, I mean, I had pictured probably, I don't know, maybe a fashion career, maybe married, maybe kids, um, a house. Yeah, it's completely different. But realistically, um, I went to college, um, got one degree, and then I did go back for something completely different. That fell short due to multiple different personal issues, but that had shaped to where I am today and where I want to go. Well, it did, but it didn't because um, it, I guess it would be shaped in a way because it kind of, between the time I was 10 years ago in high school to by the time I went back several years later, um, it kind of reshaped my creative world in a way and helped me build um, my artsy department in a whole different perspective. But I've had the same job for almost 8 years now. I do have a car. Um, it's not my own house, but I technically rent an apartment in the basement of a house, if that counts. Um, Still have body issues. But 10 years ago, I wanted to be in something creative, like I wanted to be a fashion designer. I mean, today I still have my sketchbook, and obviously a different sketchbook. I still sketch out my fashion ideas of what I would love to create. No, I don't have a sewing machine. Still working on getting one that really works pretty well. I technically still a artist in a way. I'm still doing something creative. Um, like when I was in grade 11, I wanted to be fashion designer, something to do with art. Technically, in a way, I still am, but it's not full time. It's just something I do as on the spare time, part time in a way. I wish that by now, 10 years later, that I could be a fashion designer or full time art career. That would be epic. But today, I just try to keep up with my main YouTube channel, podcasting. I did just open my Etsy shop a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I did post a couple of my art up on Etsy, so I mean, go check that out. I will also have that linked in the description below. But 10 years ago, I figured I would have all of that full time by now, but here we are. At least I'm still working in said career to hopefully by the time I'm 30, which is now in 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks, 3 years. I just turned 27 last week, so I still have 3 years, and I still do and work on painting, drawing. I do take up some classes on Skillshare, and I watch tutorials on YouTube. So in a way, that all still counts and helps in a lot of ways. This year, I also got a secondhand camera, and I mean, can't really do much now with the lockdown going on, but I just use it for my art, for photography. That was also another one that I've always wanted to do, was to be a photographer. So I had picked that one up at the beginning of this year or decade, of whichever one you want to say. Most of it goes on my collection, my photography collection in Patreon, so if you want to go check that out. But in general, life isn't where I expect it to be today, but at the same time, as I looked in the past 10 years, I didn't really push myself that hard to get where I wanted. Mostly because I was told that it wouldn't be practical to be a full-time artist. But looking at it today, I wish that I didn't listen to them and did my full-time job, my day job, plus started earlier. Well, I never really stopped because I still did art in high school and in between then, but it wasn't like full. Geez, I can't talk today, but I've like if I was more, I guess, passionate and just stuck to it for over the last 10 years than I have been in the last 1 or 2 years, 2 years that I have been really dedicated to my art, and just then maybe I could have been more successful and further today, but I guess you're never too old or never too late to start your career. People do career changes all the time, and people learn and grow, so I hope that within the next 10 years that I could be sitting here and doing another 10-year video or podcast, sorry, of what happened in the next 10 years. But at the bright side, there are other things that I did accomplish. I mean, I can't say that I haven't accomplished being an artist because I still am an artist. No matter how you look at it, I'm still creating content since you're listening to it. And still creating paintings and drawings and pastels and stuff. But the other thing was that it's kind of everybody's dream since you're a child is to get my driver's license. I didn't get it at the age of 16. I got it the year after at the end of grade 11. And I couldn't wait till I got my own license because it would have been cool to drive to high school, but that didn't happen. I eventually got my first car in at 21, and my full license by then. So still drive that car. It's kind of feels nice to accomplish at least getting my driver's license and my own vehicle and don't have to depend on public transit and my parents driving me around, especially now I live on my own. That's another thing I accomplished was living by myself. I mean, I don't own a home yet. I hope so in the next 5 to 10 years. Hopefully not 10 years. Hopefully 5. Realistically. I hope. But I still live on my own, so in a way that counts. I don't know about kids, but I do have a dog and 2 cats, so technically, in a way, I have kids. No, not married, but I don't know, maybe. So life isn't where I thought I would be today, but at least I'm still working on getting where I would like to be, where I saw myself in 10 years ago as a teenager. But I think I had made it out pretty well. And that would be a wrap on today's podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the show. Also, hit the like button and share so that others can share the same experience as you or don't, whatever. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please comment down below on today's topic. Also, if you have any ideas or topics that you would like to hear in the future, feel free to write in the comment section below. Thank you for listening. Till next time. Bye.